And now, News Channel 3 brings you Fire Watch, Hope and Heroes.
We never imagined something like this happening, wiping out our entire community.
The historic Los Angeles fires, thousands forced to evacuate, many returning home days later to find their communities destroyed.
Tonight, one family's story, their home left in ruins, but see how they found an emblem of hope, a wedding ring in the ash and rubble.
We're a brotherhood, sisterhood, and we're here to represent that.
Meet some of our local firefighters who stepped up during the Los Angeles County fires to stop the flames and help save lives. How they go above and beyond each day, working to keep you safe. Hope after heartbreak. Good evening, I'm Karen Devine.
And I'm John White. Thank you for joining us for the special edition of News Channel 3 Fire Watch, Hope and Heroes. January 7th, that was the day thousands of lives changed forever in the LA area. Ferocious winds whipped through homes and businesses, fueling deadly wildfires. The two largest of them, the Palisades and Eaton fires. Thousands of structures destroyed, dozens of lives lost.
It's a day I won't soon forget. While I reported on the fires from here at the News Channel 3 studios, it's much different seeing the devastation in person. Tonight, I introduce you to a friend of mine who lost her home in the Eaton fire, a friend who made a last-minute decision that saved her life.
I'll be safer if I stay. I'll be safer if I stay. I'll be safer if I stay. And then I'm not sure what happened.
Kim Kantner reliving the horror of a day that will forever change her life.
I don't know. I don't remember. Like, nobody called. I didn't get an evacuation warning. Never did. I didn't get anything, but something made me go from I'm safer here to I gotta go. And I don't know what.
Heading to safety with two dogs, Kim snapped pics and took video of the looming fire. A blaze quickly tearing through Eaton Canyon towards her neighborhood in Altadena. Now her home, ash and rubble.
Even staring at it, it's still just almost impossible to believe.
Nearly a month later, a tough day for Kim returning to what's left of her home. As a true crime television and podcast producer, Kim is used to telling other people's stories. Tragically, the spotlight is now on her.
Somewhere between my range and my refrigerator, like in the cabinet above my refrigerator, was my grandma's silver, which my grandma had a lot. It shouldn't just have like 4 spoons of fat. Like, it was a heavy, heavy thing.
So far found about, I don't know, 20 pieces maybe.
Looking at the property surrounded by massive mature trees, now burnt to a crisp, and what was the basement where the house basically collapsed into, it's tough to imagine what it looked like prior to the fire.
My garage is straight ahead.
You had a second car then?
That was my dad's 1964 convertible Jaguar XKE. Yeah, he got it when I was 10. I learned how to drive a stick in that car in San Francisco.
A lot of loss in one day, but Kim did save some family photos and a cherished grandfather clock that was handed down through generations. She was showing it to me when something unexpectedly happened.
And I grabbed this. It was the last thing I grabbed before I left because, oh, wow. Oh, my God. It's the ghost of the clock.
It's working.
That's so weird.
Shocking for Kim, who said she never tried to make it work before. Perhaps a good omen after so much devastation.
Historically speaking, the house is 100 years old. So if it's survived 100 years, why is it going to go down on my watch?
Now she's facing the tough decision on whether or not to rebuild, something at first she couldn't wrap her head around.
Everything I moved up here for, and the nature, and the hiking, and everything I moved up here for is gone. And it's going to be a construction zone for the next decade.
True.
So, like, you lose your peace and quiet, you've lost all the trees, you've lost a lot of nature, horribly lost a lot of nature.
But now, hope.
Now, sitting here weeks later, I'm like, I can't give up on this place.
Kim's house was insured, and now she's just making sure she's checked every box to get the help she needs and take the next steps. And I expect Kim to face some challenges. That's why myself and News Channel 3 is pledging to stay by her side, asking the tough questions when needed, working through roadblocks together, not just rebuilding homes, but helping to rebuild lives.
Wow, such a heartbreaking story, and so many like them. Thousands of evacuees were forced to leave everything behind to escape the wildfires. News Channel 3's Tori King met a family in Pacific Palisades who thought they lost everything, but were surprised to find a ring in the rubble.
We never imagined something like this happening, wiping out our entire community.
Layla and Robert Glassman bought a house in the Pacific Palisades 8 years ago. They never thought one day the home they built with their 3 kids would one day be nothing but ash and rubble.
You know, 10 years ago, I put a ring on her finger to get married and to start our life, and never in a million years did we think that 10 years after that we'd be standing on top of the rubble and debris of our house.
The family was forced to evacuate with minutes to spare, leaving everything behind except quite literally the clothes on their back.
There was no time because I got the evacuation notice, and so I just thought, the most important thing is getting our family out, and we did. And at the end of the day, we did lose everything, but there's just things.
The couple searched the rubble to find something, anything that could be salvaged. Little did they know they would find their diamond in the rough. The pair located a safe, burned and busted open by the intense heat. Nothing inside survived, except Layla's diamond wedding ring. We were there the moment they pulled it from the rubble.
When I saw that, it was just pure joy. It was pure joy. I thought I was never going to see it again. I wasn't going to have a wedding ring anymore. But it's just pure joy. I am so happy. I'm not taking it off my finger for a long time once I get it on.
The couple says they believe it's a sign of hope amid the devastation, and a sign that triumph and beauty can come from tragedy.
So this is hope for us too, and hopefully one day we'll be able to get this back on her finger. I don't know if they'll be able to do that, but this is hope for us. Finding this little thing here is certainly a step in the right direction.
We're not going to shut down and break down, and we're still going to provide a beautiful life for our children, even though this happened. And we're going to come back and make our home even more beautiful than it was before.
Tori King, News Channel 3.
Coming up, the toll of trauma.
We put the spotlight on first responders after seeing such widespread devastation. See the resources meant to offer relief.
Plus, would your home withstand a fire?
Hear from a local fire chief with ways to keep your family and your home safe during an emergency. You're watching a special edition of News Channel 3 Fire Watch, Hope and Heroes.
Preparing your home for a potential emergency.
News Channel 3 is looking out for you, getting advice from Cathedral City's fire chief on the key steps homeowners can take to protect their property.
News Channel 3's Shay Lawson discovers ways to protect your home room by room.
Over 2,000 structures burned in 2024. That's according to CAL FIRE. To help you stay safe, News Channel 3 is looking out for you. We're talking fire safety, what you need to know as a homeowner. I'm joined by the Cathedral City Fire Chief today. First, we looked at how to create a defensible space around your home.
First of all, we look at vegetation. Is the vegetation neatly kept? Is there any dead or dying vegetation? So if this bush was brown and dying, we'd say, okay, we might want to remove it.
And we discussed the danger of embers getting trapped in roof ridges.
So those are all spaces that those embers, right? We could look across the street, you see palm trees, you see palm frond, very combustible, and they fly a long way. If you look at a lot of the Southern California fires, it's that ember cast. They can go half-mile down the road, and a house that's not even here is catching fire a half-mile down the road.
Let's keep going. Well, then we discussed why vent maintenance is crucial.
We've got multiple vents in here on both sides of the structure. Now, you do have wire that will keep embers from going in there.
All right, now as we enter in here, I want you to tell me about the most common fire hazard that homeowners might forget. First look here, what do you see?
So if you talk hazards, I'm looking around, I don't really see it, but normally it's candles. This space, this is a little tight, but we always like to have at least 36 inches of clearance. Like I said, we bring 5 people in here, we want to make sure that we have a clear space going through.
Absolutely, and what about the wires?
Yeah, so we if you have plugs, we always multi-plug adapters, right, that have some type of on-off breaker.
I want to talk emergency plans, emergency exits. Where do people start there?
It's called Edith. And what you do is you look at your exits and you come up with a plan from each room. So a perfect example, if there was a fire and you were on the couch, what would be your ways to go, right? You could go out the front door where we came in, or you could go out the back door. The second part is, once we get out, where do we meet?
Finally, we headed to the backyard.
What do we need to know out here to avoid dangerous situations?
We have a position called water watcher. They're only watching the water. Another thing we have here is a barbecue, right? A lot of times we get fires and it's a grease fire. Sometimes the simplest thing is just put the lid down and turn the gas off.
As we finished up, I asked the chief one final question.
But these are really important recommendations here today. I want you to talk to our viewers, our homeowners out there, that final piece of advice you have for them.
No matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing or the type of house you have, nothing is worth your safety.
And for more fire safety recommendations, including where to install smoke detectors and fire extinguishers, visit our website, KESQ.com.
It was a busy start to the new year for firefighters who had to battle the flames in LA County for weeks.
News Channel 3's Luis Avila took a closer look at resources to help local firefighters deal with any trauma they faced on the fire lines.
Death, destruction, and danger are all parts of the job. And for Valley firefighters returning from LA, scenes like these are especially hard to deal with.
People see us working, in our uniforms out on the streets, doing our jobs, and it's what we want to do. That's our calling. That's why we're here. But there is a human condition to this job. And when you're exposed enough, it does take its toll.
According to the Fallen Firefighters Foundation, firefighters routinely deal with feelings of helplessness, exhaustion, and mental health struggles that can worsen if left untreated. There are between 100 and 200 firefighter deaths by suicide each year. That's double the rate of the general population.
But also part of the battle, reducing the stigma around mental health care for first responders.
There's always been a little bit of a stigma as far as individuals ringing that bell saying that they might need help for a behavioral issue or mental health.
To combat this, Palm Springs and Cathedral City fire departments are putting mental health on the forefront with new programs and resources.
Retired Chief Loya, he left the department about a month and a half ago. He built a foundation for our peer support team within the department. We're looking to get a K9, so a facility dog. In addition to that, we're adding members onto our team.
Our department, Cathedral City Fire and EMS, has implemented a wellness committee. We have implemented a peer support program, and that's just basically being able to check in on your members, making sure they're doing okay.
To reduce the stigma and ensure more resources and support are available.
I know some of the badass firefighters in this nation that works at this fire department, and these guys have no problem talking about any mental issues going on because we're a brotherhood, sisterhood, and we're here to represent that, and we're here to look out for each other.
The fact that we're getting rid of that stigma, we're bringing mental health into the limelight and actually having this discussion, it's awesome. It's something that's needed. It's well overdue.
Luis Avila, News Channel 3.
Coming up on News Channel 3.
A huge calling, a calling that all of us here at the fire service have in us, where we want to help.
Dedication and sacrifice.
Ahead, hear from Cathedral City firefighters who went above and beyond to help victims of the LA County fires. You're watching a special edition of News Channel 3, Fire Watch, Hope, and Heroes.
Going above and beyond, tonight we highlight some local firefighters who went to the front lines to fight the LA County wildfires. They include the Cathedral City Fire Department, which deployed 6 of its own to the front lines of the Eaton fire in Altadena. Fire Captain and paramedic Vincent Salazar was one of them.
A huge calling, a calling that all of us here at the fire service have in us, where we want to help and to assist in any way we can. So being able to go out there was pretty big for all of us.
As you can imagine, Salazar says it was a difficult time as he spent close to 3 weeks away from loved ones, including his wife and three-year-old daughter. A lot of sacrifice helping those people who face so much devastation in LA County.
Well, that's all for this special edition of News Channel 3, Fire Watch, Hope, and Heroes. Thank
you for joining us, and don't forget, the news is always on at KESQ.com. Have a great night.
News Channel 3 is now available on any of these streaming services. Watch live and on demand